Join me as I deep dive into HVAC system to find out what is really going on there. Can I figure out how it works, how the HVAC system works before it gets too hot? HVAC system is the unsung heroes, which keeps us cool during the summer, keeps us energetic, keeps us, but we must know what goes on behind the scene to keep us, cool all the time. It's more of a complex system, but I must tell you that you can also understand how it works. And that's the purpose of this video. Let's see what is going on inside that metal box that is called air conditioner, or we call it HVAC system. It's more complex, but I'll make it simple for you. One of the most frustrating thing about HVAC system is they don't work efficiently. Our energy bills always goes high when the system works. The other big frustration is when the summer is too hot, air conditioner or HVAC system fails and we are sweating all the time. So there are breakdowns when we don't need them. Energy bills are high. These are some of the common issues which we can prevent, but we must know before preventing how it works. Because something goes wrong with the HVAC system, you start wondering, how do I take care? Whom should I call? How it actually works. There are a lot of moving parts inside. How they are interrelated, because the HVAC system is integrated system. It's not one product or one fan which makes you cool. So it's very important to understand how to run HVAC system smoothly with lesser bills and gives you total comfort. In simple words, there are multiple components. Let us start with first important component of HVAC system is compressor. The compressor is there to compress the gas, and that gas is called refrigerant. Refrigerant has got unique properties, right? So we press that refrigeration with the help of compressor. What it does, from low pressure it brings out to the high pressure and also at high temperature. So what it happens later, it goes to something called condenser. It must be a coil shape component or maybe a heat exchanger. So when the temperature is very high, it has to be transferred to atmosphere, air, water. Generally for home air conditioners, we must have seen the outside part, which is condenser, which transfer the heat of the refrigerant to outside. So when you put your hands there, you'll always find that portion is very, very hot. So I will not get into much detail, but after condenser, there is something called expansion device, which actually gets, after the heat transfer, the gas into liquid form. So liquid refrigerant travels towards something called heat exchanger, which is called evaporator, which is very important for all of us because that helps in cooling the area which we live. So when the liquid travels through the expansion device, it comes to something called evaporator, where it absorbs the heat from outside. So when the heat is absorbed from outside, what happens? From where the heat is getting absorbed, that particular area gets cooled. So if you are living in this apartment where I am putting this air conditioner which absorbs the heat, this particular temperature comes down. So this is how I cool. After that, the cycle continues. It goes back to compressor, because when it comes to evaporator, the pressure comes down. It is a low pressure refrigerant. So we need to again push it to the compressor. It increases the pressure and temperature, comes down to the condenser, comes down to the expansion device, again comes back to the evaporator. Cycle repeats. So all these components should work together. These are major components. If they have any problem, if one of the component fails, the system fails. So it is very important that all these components must remain healthy. They should be working all the time. One of the major component here is compressor, because it is rotating, so we will have major chances of failure of compressor. So one of the problem, if you fail, the compressor fails, right? So that happens in summer, then your air conditioning stops. The second important aspect is the medium which travels, that is the refrigerant. If there is a leak, the refrigerant goes out of the system. Who will cool your home? Nothing. So the leakages must be avoided. The corrosion must be avoided. The refrigerant flows through most of the time copper tubes. So corrosion to the copper tubes must be avoided. Otherwise refrigerant leaks out and you have problem. The other important aspect is energy bills. There could be many reasons. One of the reasons is you installed a lower capacity air conditioning at your home. It has to work harder. That's why it is consuming more power. Second option could be you have used a non-energy efficient or non-star or low star rating equipments which can consume higher. But most important aspect which we can control at our site is checking the filters. Now when the air gets circulated along the evaporator, which has got a fan, helps to circulate the cold air inside your house or inside your room. If there is a dust on the filter, the fan will have to work harder and that will again consume more power. It will also have other lot of issues. So it is very important to keep filter clean all the time. Do the necessary maintenance of these machines at least in a quarter or half yearly, but make sure the system works efficiently. Just to summarize, air conditioners or HVAC system is complex. It will have problems like breakdowns when we don't need. When the summer is very hot, it can impact your energy bills, right? So these are two major issues which we face. But how they work, there are four major components: compressor, condenser, expansion device, and evaporator. Evaporator, where the cooling happens. Condenser, which we always seen, is the outside where we transfer the heat, because when we absorb the heat, it has to get transferred. So that's why we use compressor, and that the heat is dissipated outside, right? How do I make it healthy? Maintenance. Doing a preventive maintenance so that our compressor works. Corrosion, how to avoid corrosion so that we don't have issues of refrigerant leak. Most importantly, keep filter clean and use a proper sized air conditioners with a energy efficient labeling for your houses. These three important aspects will help you to use your air conditioners, to understand air conditioners very well. Hope I have given a little bit value to you about air conditioners, HVAC systems. Thanks for joining me into this journey, right, of my HVAC related topics. I request you to please share your thoughts in my comment box so that everybody can learn, because you may be having a lot of knowledge about HVAC system. Start putting into the comment box. Let us engage so that everybody learns, right? If we have more, for the people who don't have, for the people who are not subscribed yet, I request you to subscribe my channel and spread it amongst many people that can help them. Thank you so much.